Welcome back to Tech News. This week, Microsoft still hasn't given a viable upgrade path to millions of PC users, while the end of support for Windows 10 is right around the corner. MSI has a new solution for the 12-volt high-power connector that might actually surprise you. And will tariffs on tech products lead to ever-increasing prices or a manufacturing boom? Let's jump right in. So, end of support for Windows 10 is coming up fast, scheduled for October 14th, 2025, and there's still no viable upgrade path for millions of users. Microsoft is pushing Windows 11 like a used car salesman, but Windows 10 remains the dominant operating system, especially with enterprise, healthcare, and individual users. So, essentially everyone. One issue is that Windows 11's ridiculous hardware requirements such as TPM 2.0 and newer generation CPUs. Systems that support Windows 11 are still in the minority. This leaves users with tough choices to make. They can upgrade their hardware, purchase new PCs, or pay for extended security updates for Windows 10, something we still don't have prices for. Another option is to just install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. I'm thinking this is probably the most popular option, considering my videos on how to install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware seem to be pretty popular. The hardware barrier is a major issue, but another issue is people's familiarity with Windows 10. To be blunt, some people simply don't want to upgrade. Not only are their old systems still functional, but many people see no need to replace them. I mean, seriously, I get it. I'm on Windows 10 myself. Microsoft insists that the Windows 11 system requirements are for security and performance. Yet this claim feels kind of arbitrary, especially when Windows 10 still performs well. You know, it feels like they're trying to sell new PCs. This has honestly fueled distrust, with many convinced Microsoft is prioritizing profit through forced upgrades over user satisfaction. Enterprises face an even greater hurdle over the transitioning over large scales of systems to Windows 11, involving extremely high costs, compatibility testing, and potential downtime. Healthcare organizations reliant on legacy software may struggle to upgrade without disrupting critical operations. I mean, between you and me, if I have a health emergency, I don't want the system keeping my heart beating to blue screen. The solution for healthcare is likely Microsoft's extended support, but we still don't have prices for it. And paying an undisclosed amount for extended updates could be a burden on smaller clinics. The worst part about this entire thing is Microsoft's lack of communication regarding this transition. According to Microsoft, the only option is just upgrade to Windows 11, and they're decided to just not address any of the issues associated with that. This honestly is becoming an issue of trust. Microsoft has to come out with clearer guidance and options for people that simply can't replace their perfectly functioning Windows 10 system. I mean, it would be nice if we could at least get prices for extended updates, or even relax the Windows 11 system requirements. Or, I have an idea. I'm not sure this will happen. In fact, it probably won't, but just extend support for Windows 10. Otherwise, this is going to turn into an e-waste nightmare, with landfills filling up with perfectly functioning computers. A good percentage of my business used to be selling used computers. I can't do that anymore because most used computers don't meet the Windows 11 system requirements.
This week's sponsor is me. If you'd like to support this channel, the best way is to pick up a t-shirt at cybercputech.com. All my t-shirts are extremely high quality and durable. These are the same shirts I wear in videos. So if you like the shirt I'm wearing, then head over to cybercputech.com and pick yourself up one today.
In other news, it looks like MSI may have a great solution for the notorious 12-volt high power connector on some RTX 50 series GPUs. And that solution is to just not use it and instead use the traditional 8-pin PCIe power connector. Reported by videocards.com in an April 10th article, the MSI GeForce RTX 5060 Ti Inspire 2X will come with a single 8-pin power connector instead of the 16-pin 12-volt 2x6 connector, which is mandated by NVIDIA for all RTX series GPUs. Not sure exactly how they're getting away with this, but good on them for trying. Hopefully this will be a trend on lower end GPUs that don't require the higher wattage connector. The RTX 5060 Ti is a 170 watt TDP GPU. So the 150 watts provided by the 8-pin PCIe power connector, in addition to the 75 watts by the PCIe slot itself, gives it more than enough power for the card itself. MSI's RTX 5060 Ti Inspire 2 targets mid-range gamers and creators, offering performance comparable to an RTX 4070. By using an 8-pin connector, MSI ensures compatibility with a wide range of power supplies, including older units lacking native 12-volt 2x6 support. This is perfect for budget gamers upgrading older systems, as it eliminates the need for adapters or a new power supply. It's like MSI saying, upgrade your GPU, not your whole rig. The 8-pin power connector has a decades-long track record of reliability against all the issues that we've seen with the 12-volt high power connector, which makes the choice a practical one, considering the target audience and the low power requirements for the 5060 Ti. But there's a catch, because of course there is. The 8-pin caps power at 150 watts, limiting overclocking potential compared to the 12-volt 2x6 600 watt capacity. I guess MSI could slap on another 8-pin, or they're just using this as a way to get rid of their lowest tier bin cores, so they can't really overclock much anyway. Still, it's a smart move. Other variants like MSI's Gaming and Gaming Trio RTX 5060 Ti's models will use the 12-volt 2x6, but the Inspire 2X 8-pin design caters to folks who want simplicity and maybe a little bit of peace of mind. MSI's move also aligns with industry caution, as seen with AMD's avoidance of the 12-volt high power connector completely. Believe it or not, I've actually heard stories from people who have intentionally avoided the 80 and 90 tier 40 and 50 series GPUs simply because they don't want to worry about their house burning down. MSI listening, and it's almost like it's handing out virtual fire extinguishers. So, I just got to give props to MSI for giving people what they actually want. It will be interesting to see how NVIDIA responds to this. Maybe this will be the first of many RTX GPUs that go back to the old standard. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a 5090 soon with 4 8-pin connectors. However, an OC version might need 5. Maybe we just need more efficient GPUs. But moving right along, I'd rather dodge this topic completely, kind of like Microsoft dodging Windows 10 support extensions. But we've got to talk about American tariffs on tech products. But here's the thing. No matter how I spin this, someone's going to be saltier than a Reddit thread. So let's try to just look at the pros and cons, and you guys come to whatever conclusion you want. Just understand that even if you disagree with me, it's okay, and we can disagree and still be friends. So, with that said, tariffs slap a premium on imported tech like smartphones and semiconductors not made domestically. But there's a kind of a plot twist to this that's not all bad, because it increases demand for American-made alternatives. This helps domestic tech companies and U.S. semiconductor manufacturing, a goal that the U.S. has been chasing longer than a conspiracy theorist chasing Area 51 secrets. On the flip side, though, those tariffs hurt U.S. customers because most tech is manufactured abroad. So you're stuck paying more for tech until American factories can kind of churn up making cheaper product. But here's the wild part. This price hike is a double-edged sword. It's a bummer for your bank account, but it's also a nudge for domestic production to kind of step up, potentially saving you cash down the road. If you're cool with waiting, kind of like you're on a dial-up modem. Also, tariffs generate a significant revenue for the US government. This can fund infrastructure as well as research grants and even subsidies for companies wanting to manufacture their products domestically. Tariffs could finance things such as the CHIPS Act that seeks to increase semiconductor manufacturing domestically. This could ultimately lower the cost of domestically manufactured semiconductors. Unfortunately, though, the U.S. tech industry relies on a global supply chain. With components sourced from Asia and Europe, tariffs disrupt these networks, causing delays, shortages, or even higher production costs. This, in turn, is passed down to the consumer as higher prices. Here's the thing, though. Tariffs shield U.S. tech companies from low-cost foreign competition also. And this is huge for certain topics like protecting against stolen IP. Imagine fake iPhones being pricier than the real ones if the real ones were produced domestically. This can incentivize innovation by giving domestic companies the opportunity to invest more in cutting-edge technology to meet local demand. On the flip side, though, protected by tariffs, U.S. tech companies could face less pressure to innovate or to even cut costs, potentially leading to less competitive products globally. This could weaken their position in global markets where foreign competitors offer cheaper alternatives. Remember now, whether you like it or not, the cost of GPUs today is directly connected to the amount people were willing to pay scalpers during the GPU shortage of 2021. In fact, it probably affects GPU prices more than tariffs do. So if prices are driven up due to tariffs, these prices do not automatically come down as a result of domestic manufacturing. For that, we need competition to drive prices down as well as fuel innovation. But those are my thoughts. Ultimately, we all hate higher prices. It seems like we've all kind of gotten used to the practice the last few years of paying higher prices. So it stinks when our future outlook sees even more increased prices. Luckily, I haven't seen prices go up as a result of tariffs. That might be because it's too early, or it may be due to a lot of different factors. But if you've stuck with me this long, then check out some of these videos here. And as always, you guys have a great day.